The Frisco RoughRiders opening up a 3-game series with the Springfield Cardinals from the North Division, and joining us today on the RoughRiders pregame show is Trever Adams. A lot of offensive statistics last night in Frisco's 13-0 win over the Tulsa Drillers, but Trever really stole the show. 2 for 3 with a grand slam home run, 3 runs scored, and 6 RBI. I heard you talking in batting practice earlier today, Trever, that you actually had a grand slam and another home run in a game last season in the Carolina League, but how does this grand slam, I guess, compare with others you've hit earlier in your career?
Last year, it was hard to top, but last year we were down by I think we were down by 7 or 8 going into the 8th inning, and we ended up putting a big rally, and that was a game-tying grand slam in the 8th, and then we ended up tying it, obviously, with that, and then the 9th couldn't get another one, and then we ended up winning in 10, I think, if I remember right. But that was both of those. One was off a righty, one was off a lefty last year, kind of the same thing as last night, but a little bigger crowd here last night. That was a fun game to be a part of. And like I told Alex on the radio last night, it's everything that I kind of do on the field. I learned this in college at Creighton, especially. Everything is, it's all together with the team. It's all for the team, and it's an individual game with the pitcher that every hitter has, but it's all in a team concept. And once you can wrap your head around that, it makes things a lot more fun at the plate. So
the 6 RBI, though, is that a career high?
Yeah, that's what Alex just told me during BP. He said, that's a career high for you. And I was like, yeah, I think I had 5 once or twice last year. I don't know if I had a 6. And he's like, nah, I looked last night, and he said that 5 was my high last year. And so that's a new career high. So it was good, man. It's definitely probably my best game of the season, even though I've had a couple multi-hit games prior to last night. And as far as production-wise, I always figure, your production in the lineup is however many RBIs you can drive in and however many times you can cross the plate. If you put that together and if it's higher than your games played, then you're in good shape. So
we're talking with Trever Adams, first baseman for the RoughRiders, on his big performance in yesterday's win over the Tulsa Drillers. When you have a performance like that, is that a game that you call home and tell the folks about? Have you told anybody about your game last night, for those that might not have seen it or heard it?
I got a pretty good supporting cast, from family and friends-wise. They if they didn't get to watch the game, they for sure follow it, via social network. I know my dad and my grandpa were both watching last night, and that was the first thing I saw on my phone. Both of them texted me and said congratulations, and other than that, I had a bunch of texts from friends last night and this morning, seeing everything on Twitter, all the retweets and everything. So that was, like I said, I got a really good supporting cast.
That certainly makes it all the more sweet. 2-strike count when you hit that grand slam last night, and the bases, of course, were loaded. Take us through your mindset. Were you looking for a particular pitch in that situation from a right-handed pitcher?
Righty or lefty, in that situation with less than 2 outs, bases loaded, anytime I'm at the plate with runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, I am trying to be as aggressive as I can, knowing that if I put the ball in play within the first 2 pitches and I have my approach of seeing it up, I'm probably going to at least get a sac fly. That's kind of my approach there. And I fouled off a good pitch to hit. I can't remember if it was the first or the second pitch, and then he ended up putting me at 2 strikes, throwing a good slider away, and then like I said last night on the radio, I fouled off that next slider that was a tough one, and I was glad to look back and see that the catcher didn't catch it, and then like I said, 2 strikes, I got to pitch up in the zone. I was really just trying to put the barrel on the ball, and obviously the wind will take care of it if you put the barrel on the ball to left field.
I don't know how wrapped up you are in your own personal stats, but you batted .205 in the month of April. Now in the month of May, and we're already over 2/3 of the way through this month, you're batting .366. Are you aware of how much better you've been hitting the ball in May than you were in April?
I remember very, very easily how bad April was, yes. I don't like to look at it, but obviously, I know I don't really look at my stats, but I know looking at the scoreboard, before you go up to the plate a little bit, I know that my average has spiked quite a bit, and that's a good feeling, and it was a tough month in April, scuffled a little bit, and now I feel like I got my approach down, and I'm just trying to time up the pitcher and waiting for something to come over the plate. So, that's hard work, spring training, off season, everything. The 2 months I spent in Colombia, it's all coming together now. I got to keep it going.
In April, you were getting inconsistent playing time in the field, saw a lot of action at designated hitter, but it was really Jordan Brown getting a lot of the reps at first base. Now that he's gone, how has the consistency playing in the field translated, if at all, to your improved performance at the plate?
I don't look at it too much. Last year, I think I DH'd probably just as much as I played first base with Woody last year in Myrtle, and I actually kind of adapted to the role of DH pretty easily. I came to the park, I knew what I had to do. I was hitting in the 4-hole every day in the lineup, and I kind of was able to prepare for that. Every day coming to the field, and this year a little different role, but. We knew Brownie was going to come here for the first month, and obviously he's a first baseman who spent time in the big leagues, and I didn't have any problem with it. I know that most of the time my bat's going to put me in the lineup, and wherever that is, then that's what I'm doing. Whether I'm getting on base versus guys behind me, if I'm hitting in the 2-hole, or if I'm in the 5-hole like I have been lately, I know that hopefully there's runners on base in front of me, and I'm able to drive some guys in.
This is first baseman Trever Adams. And Trever, you're really the Swiss Army knife of the batting order. You've hit in 8 of 9 spots in the lineup this season. Do you enjoy that, kind of being a versatile hitter, or would you like to settle in one particular spot?
This day and age in baseball, there's nothing wrong with being able to hit in different spots. It's the same with the field. I can play left, I can play right. I can play first. If Woody needs me to, I can play third. It's the same thing with the lineup. And I know obviously guys that get called up from AA, if they get called up to either AAA or the big leagues, wherever it may be, you're not going to go into a big league lineup and hit 3 or 4, right away. So there's nothing wrong with hitting 2, hitting 8, hitting 7. You're going to get your at bats, and you kind of just have to take each at bat as the same approach, and it's just a matter of whether you're getting 4 at-bats at home or 5 at-bats on the road.
Looking towards tonight's game against Springfield, you're playing out in left field tonight, and Jake Smolinski gets his first start of the season at first base. I remember talking to Drew Robinson earlier in the year, and he said going from the infield to the outfield is a little bit tougher than he expected. Did the coaches say anything to you about the change, or maybe why they're giving you another look in left field?
I think it's my guess is it's just it's an organizational thing, with our farm system, realizing what happened with Prince Fielder at our big league level. He went down with a season-ending neck injury, and I don't know if they're short up there, but I don't know if anybody – I don't even know if anyone else got called up yet or who got activated, but I don't know what they have in Round Rock. I just know that obviously with Prince going down is a pretty big blow to our big league lineup, and, Smolinski's hitting 300 and plus the whole season. Any way you can get that bat up. Me and Jake were talking about it last night, and whatever gets us called up, it doesn't matter to us. I'll learn how to catch if I need to. I probably will hate it, but I'll learn how to do it if it gets me called up. But no, I was actually drafted as an outfielder, as a left fielder. So I've kind of played outfield majority of my life. I spent quite a bit of time in the infield at junior college coming out of high school, but outfield is probably my natural position, even though I've actually been really happy with the way I've been playing first base as of late. So
Trever, thanks so much for your time. Great watching you do your work at the plate last night and in the field. Had a couple nice stabs at first base. Best of luck going forward, and once again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Trever Adams, candid as always on the RoughRiders pregame show. We're back after this on the Riders Baseball Network.